So I will tell you, this is Jeff.
This is David.
Hi, David.
Hi, Jeff.
We're starting a new series.
Yes.
Kind of. It's recommendations.
So
It's not reviews, recommendations.
yeah, essentially we want to be able to do things and them not take 2-3 years.
So to start off, I'm going to recommend a little indie game.
Small, tiny indie
Just a
game.
tiny indie game that no one's probably ever heard of before.
Right.
Called No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a survival and exploration game that you will, let's see. It's really, I really like this game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot of fun. It is, I can't recommend it enough, but you have to know what it is, because if you project onto it, you're not going to like it. So it's about expectations, right?
Right. Well, that's all of media.
So it's survival and exploration in a procedurally generated universe.
Right.
Well, galaxy, but it's effectively infinite. It's got like, what did they say, like 50 quintillion planets in it.
Quintillions of planets.
Quintillion. Okay. It is is an awe-inspiring work of procedural design.
Mm-hmm.
And you go around and you gather resources and you craft and you can trade, and you can technically shoot things, but it's not a shooter.
No, shooting's not great.
Destiny, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This is not what it's about, though.
There's a flashlight?
There's a flashlight. You press up with the D-pad.
I've been using
a
using
360
mouse
controller.
and keyboard, so
I have no idea what it is on mouse and keyboard.
It's
I'm
probably
using a 360 controller.
Probably something awkward like V or P or something.
So I feel like the thing that you would like this game if you're a fan of maybe the following things.
Okay.
Let's see. Minecraft.
Yes.
But not the base building aspect. The idea of just exploring worlds that you haven't been into before, surviving, that kind of thing. Terraria, Starbound, I think, are pretty close. There's a lot of survival games nowadays.
Right. Though I will say, Starbound and Terraria do have a lot of that base building in them as well.
That's true. They're also 2D.
Mm-hmm. Well,
This is 3D. There's a few differences.
Right.
But the scope of the game is what the real appeal is, and it's hard to describe unless you're actually playing it, but you might be able to get it from videos. Hopefully you can get it from this video.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how awe-inspiring it is to go to a new place that no one has ever seen before.
Yep.
So it's still algorithmically generated.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to, 'cause there was some review that said like, oh, imagination's always going to be more than what they expect in the game. Like I didn't literally find a planet that had an evolutionary cycle that had humans in it, and then I went down to a city and found a person that looked like me playing a video game in it called No Man's Sky. It's like, yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Like that. Why would that happen? What?
That's it's a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, that
hyperbole, but still, I was like, what are you? Okay, anyways, wait. We're gonna play the game now.
Right, we are playing the game.
Recommended. I feel like if you're on the fence or you're not really sure, just watch the rest of this video, like we're about to do.
Yeah. So I will say I've put a lot less time into it than Jeff has on account of being sick in an inopportune way and time, but like it's really, really cool to just point your ship at a planet and go there and like almost impact straight into the ground because you forgot to pull up, because that's a thing. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super awesome.
Yeah.
Or awesome in like the sense of like awe-struck wonder.
Right,
Yeah,
not awesome.
full of awe.
Not awesome in the sense of that's awesome.
As in totally rad.
Yeah, like no. I'm saying awesome in the sense of Dr. Spock, not awesome in the sense of Andy. Mr. Spock, not Dr. Spock. Anyway, continue on.
So I feel like this video covers the basic loop of what you're going to be doing between ship stuff, crafting, trading, looking for stuff. There's like probably two major paths in the game. There's one that's basically like a story path where it basically just tells you if you want something to do specifically, press this button.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Or you can be like, nah, I'm just gonna explore the universe on my own. So I'm going down the directed path because I'm just kind of interested to see what they've got. So that's the Atlas path,
Right.
is what it was called. So we'll be doing all the basics of that sort of loop. We're trying to power up fuel for the hyperdrive so we can get from system to system. I've got a particular waypoint already set that has an Atlas terminal on it, and that's where we'll be heading towards. The thing that they added actually in between release, which was a few days ago, and then just like one day ago, was the ability to pin formulas. So if you go into your something you have the formula for, the blueprint, but you can't make it just yet, you can press Y, and then it'll give you a mini quest where it'll just put up a notification in the bottom corner where it's like, you need more blah in order to make the thing, which is nice.
So what are you doing right now?
Right now we're in a space station, and we're going to be doing some trading. The galactic trade sort of nacelle was earlier, and then these are just the random traders that will come into the space station. You can make offers on any of their ships. Currently I'm trying to work up, I guess my goal. You also have, if you want to have the most fun with the game, I feel like you need to be sort of a self-starter in a way. So you have to like pick a thing to do and then try and do it.
Right. If you just kind of go, well, I guess I'll just wander around.
Yeah, you can wander around, but unlike games where there's lots of icons, like on the map of things to do, your open world style games.
Yeah.
This one has this. You cannot do them all.
It's literally impossible.
Literally impossible. There's not enough time in your life or the life cycle of like the silicon in the chips that are running your computer.
Or, humanity. If you want like the heat death of the universe, I guess technically, since it's technically infinite. Like
sure, yeah, maybe then.
Maybe then. Can you lock on to a point?
Yeah, it'll direct you towards a point.
Oh.
It'll kind of like so that you get the pulse jet engines there's like 4 different levels of sort of propulsion. So you have your basic thrusters, which is just right trigger because I'm using a controller. So it's easier because I can just lean back and play.
Right.
Then there's the what's the second one? It's just like the boosters. We just hold down the button,
the pulse
you go
jump.
faster. No, not the pulse jump. That's the third one.
This
is just the regular boosters. We hold down the B button. Thrusters maybe, and then pulse jump is when you hold down both shoulder buttons in this case, and you go. That's for like traveling, but from planet to planet basically. And then the fourth one is the warp drive, the FTL drive,
right,
which you use to get from system to system. There's a bunch of points of interest. As I mentioned before, you can't do them all, so you have to kind of pick a thing to do.
Right. So
there's all of my systems. I have adopted the system naming schema of end in EX.
Okay.
So all of my star systems end in EX.
That's a little bit more creative than what I was doing. So go you.
All right.
I was naming them vaguely after myself.
Okay.
Davo 1.
So like in a lot of procedurally generated games, there's a core amount of stuff you can do, and you're going to see similar things just because it's procedurally generated, but it's not infinite. Okay?
Right.
So like this, as an example, this is one of the sealed sort of bases. You just have to bust in with a bolt caster. Fortunately, the mining laser doesn't work, and it causes sentinels to spawn in. Sentinels are the sort of robot enemies that just kind of just an annoyance.
Yeah.
But for like destroying these things, I just ignore the sentinels entirely.
You don't really have to worry.
Yeah, they'll just keep coming. So
also, like, if you even without shield upgrades, if you're even slightly agile, like move left to right, serpentine even a little bit, they're not going to be able to kill you. Like with the completely unupgraded multi-tool, I was able to kill like 12 of them because
also
I
going
panicked.
inside will that can happen.
Yeah.
Going inside will deactivate the sentinels outside. So you're going to be mostly looking for these kinds of nodes. So like these nodes will have upgrade blueprints in them depending on, and they'll be categorized. So like ones that are like fleshy plant-based ones will have things that are like for your environment suit. Those like little canisters on the wall will usually be for like your exosuit, or the ones that are crash landed, or usually for your ship, this kind of thing. So you can kind of tell what you're looking at beforehand. And then these kinds of nodes are basic puzzles, which, just kind of like... You're also going around and trying to learn languages, and you can get ruins that will teach you words, and then they'll appear as the words, kind of like good old Al Bhed from...
Except it's not just a straight transfer cipher where you could just figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I guess not. That's true. It's not just a substitution. Yeah. I do not have an Atlas Pass V2. I have an Atlas Pass V1 though.
I don't have one of those yet, but are the lizard dudes the only aliens you've run into?
No, I've got Gek, Vy'keen, and
Atlas.
What the other ones are called. Yeah, the Atlas or whatever the robotmen are.
I think it's Atlas because I've learned some Atlas words, but I haven't actually run into any Atlas yet.
Yeah, I forget what they're called.
Oh, hey,
But yeah,
titanium
like
crystals. I haven't found those
cool
yet.
titanium. I was gonna turn this into some cash money.
Yeah.
Inventory management is a very major part of the game.
Yes, it is.
You can hold 250
thing per block.
In your ship.
On your
Right.
person, too. With certain things.
500 in the ship, 250 in... Wait, is it 100 or 250 on your person?
I thought it was 250 on my person.
So one of those numbers is right. 250 on person, 500 on ship for each little node, each little block.
I thought it was the same for both, so...
It is not. It's actually double density inside of your ship. Cargo hold.
Nice.
You're going to see that a lot. Inventory full.
Yeah.
The...
You're wasting aluminum.
Yeah, kind of. If you hold down Y, you can just send your resources to your ship and it'll stack. Unfortunately, at least at the moment, the way the inventory works is that items don't stack.
Which is super annoying.
Yeah, there's you'll get like little trinkets and stuff.
Which
It'll be like
sell for a
relic.
lot.
Yeah, they sell for a lot, but usually you can put some mineral in that spot that would probably sell for just as much if you had filled it up. So.
I haven't run into that yet, just because like I've gotten lucky and things have sold for like 20 and 30 and 40,000.
Yeah, there's a galactic economy, so it'll give you the plus or minus on your sell rates. So if it has and you're in a trading situation, you see a little star on it, that does mean that it's beneficial for you to sell your stuff.
Right.
Because the sell price is very high.
So
it does not mean it's beneficial to buy.
Something to point out, you just discovered this place, and you're the only person who's done it, right?
Yes.
Literally no one else playing this game has found this thing.
Yes, that is true.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That is the main things that keeps you going on the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, like, the gameplay loop is very short, I feel, all things considered.
Yeah.
But you're going from place to place and just seeing what's there. It's like, what is out in the universe?
Mm-hmm.
What is there to see? What kind of things has, like the algorithms produced?
Mm-hmm.
And there's still interesting stuff, even planet to planet. Like even if it's just like an irradiated barren world, you're like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. All right, I'm out.
Or just, what kind of horrible abomination of life did the algorithm put on this planet? What is its face? Its face is a tongue with an eyeball in it. Well, that's great.
So there's been a lot. I've listened to like the Giant Beast cast. They're very, very long episode covering No Man's Sky, but also read some reviews of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there seems to be a lot of, and also just on similar types of games, there's a lot of focus on the idea of emergent storytelling, which I usually scoff at because whatever.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But it's basically the idea that there is not a set narrative, that the stories that you tell are based off of your own personal experiences with the game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I scoff at is usually when people say that some games have them and some games don't.
Right. When
I
all
feel
games
like that's sort
have
of,
it to a point.
I feel like that's an arbitrary distinction. Recently, someone told me that Crusader Kings was like the best for emergent stories, and I agree that it's good for emergent stories, but I feel like I'm going to be a little snarky about it. But
okay.
you're just it's like, oh man, there's like this awesome story where like my character's son was like only like 10 years old, and then he like took over the throne, and then for some reason like his advisors told him so that every woman in the realm had to marry him, and then like his own brother decided that he didn't want to do that and killed his son and took the throne, or like, and then like poisoned your character, like all these kinds of things. It's like, yeah, that's an interesting story, but it's still just, it's just you're just describing the elements of the game. It just seems more meaningful because the game itself is literally about people and empires.
Right.
So I mean, you could make, if you want to be particularly snarky, and I do at the moment, you could make that same argument with just replacing the gameplay elements with something like Mario. It's like, I was running to the right and I jumped, but I didn't. I jumped at the last minute and I thought I was gonna die by the Goomba, but it seems like the pixel was just right so that I actually hit it and it killed it. But then I was about to die, but I accidentally did a wall jump and then I made it, and the end. Not as interesting of a story because it doesn't have like the human element, but like I'm saying, you're describing gameplay elements. Anyways. That's where the imagination comes in.
Right.
You have to meet halfway.
So for me, emergent storytelling is a lot more like... I'm probably doing it wrong because I do a lot of this kind of element, like hoity-toity, like you're doing the story in a fun way wrong. I do that a lot. But for me, it's more like, the two of us going through Persona, like 4 and 3, and giving alternate names to all the characters and horrific
and racist accents.
I was going to say that a different way.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fun, stereotypical.
What is that a stereotype
speech,
of? I don't even know.
I don't even know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure. But it's a little monolith. We're going to learn a few words.
Right. Monoliths, I think, are my favorite structures. But
we're also going to analyze stuff like these
thing.
This new weird looking thing. It has kind of a weird head.
Yeah.
But you can feed them carbon if you walk up to them and hold X.
Yep.
Or I guess this one wants Iridium.
Yep. And then they like
plant
you.
Face. He's like, smiley face, adorbs.
Yes.
He appears to be made out of bananas.
Yes. But no, like for me, that's the emergent storytelling is that stuff, like the dumb hand gestures we ended up doing, or the most awkward thumbs up, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already do this one?
Yeah. This is so. Look, funny story. And an infinite universe with infinite worlds and infinite things. I went to the icon that I had already explored.
Because you're ignoring the abandoned building one?
No, there's 2 abandoned buildings. And when I had already explored one of them, I didn't remember which one it was, but it didn't remove the icon. I think that's more of a bug, but...
okay.
So I didn't know which one I'd already explored and went back and like, oh, it's this one. It's like, all right, I'll just go to a nearby thing. And the nearby thing I went to was literally the thing I'd already gone to. So I was like, all right, we're going to a different solar system.
There we go.
Nuts to this.
Engage.
That one will do. We'll go over there.
Yes. I do wish your speed indicator in the bottom left just like broke, but...
Well, the model on the ship kind of breaks when it flashes back in.
Really?
You'll see briefly. Fun. Just see very briefly when you go out of FTL hyperdrive, sort of. Yep, there it is. All right.
Nice.
I love those ships warping in.
Yeah, they just
so awesome.
pop. It's great. Have you blown any of them up yet?
I have not done that. I did die once. It's kind of annoying.
I have yet to die. Got super close.
I had a bunch of space pirates come and try and jack my stuff because they said I had valuable loot on me. And I had just gotten done deconstructing my weapons and replacing them with all mining stuff. It was a bad situation.
I have yet to run into pirates, but again, I've only played a few hours.
That's true. There's time.
There's time. There's time for pirates to ruin my day.
As you see in the corner, this jetpack booster theta, it's a +3 to jetpack when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
I have seen Omegon once and never again.
I've seen
I don't know where it is.
So
I don't know where it is or how to get it. I eventually will find it, but until then, that will just be in the corner forever, I guess.
Where did you get your Atlas thing from?
You can follow the... I mean, if you're playing the game normally, it'll give you the options to choose the path, and then it'll give you the waypoints one at a time until you get to the big Atlas facilities.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna sell your platinum or your titanium, whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get rid of, platinum, all of the little charms. I'm actually looking for Chrysonite because I'm trying to build a different thing. I find that it's very useful to buy zinc. So I just buy zinc all the time. Because the other base metals you need in order to construct warp cells, which is 50 carbon, 100 thamium, 50 iridium, and 20 zinc, I think.
Is a warp
what
cell?
you need total. Yeah, you step through it, but total, I think those are total what you need.
Oh, so you can make antimatter?
Yeah.
Apparently I skipped
You
that.
can make stuff. Yeah, you can totally craft all these things that you need.
Okay, where do you find the blueprints for that?
I have no idea how to tell you how to find a blueprint. As far as I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't know if it's something that you naturally like. It will just give you at a certain point, or if it's completely random. I have no idea.
No way of knowing.
I have found the blueprints for all of the base components, so I can just make them.
Korvax, that's what these things are.
Yeah, there you go. The zinc is the one, so the oxides, the yellow things, they come from plants mostly. That's the one that I don't want to like run around and get, because the other ones are very, very easy to get, generally speaking, when you're on a planet. There's plentiful. It's a little bit harder to just automatically have zinc. Also, because of that time when I died to space pirates, I would have been fine if I had a bunch of zinc on me so that I could keep recharging my shield. So that might be part of it.
Okay.
Shield boost Sigma. That's for exosuit. Not, as far as I'm concerned, that's not worth a spot in my inventory.
I have one shield boost on my exosuit just because I was curious if it made a difference. And it does. It's just not, if you're not shooting things all the time, it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, but if you're going, if you're gonna go shoot some stuff, go for it.
Now, what do these guys want?
What do they want?
Carbon or...
I think that normally you trade with carbon, so it's always a good idea to just have carbon on you when you go to a space station.
Or talk to aliens at all.
Yeah, when you talk to aliens, just have carbon on you. I think these actually, since they're robots, they might do silicates.
Okay.
Just, like silicon stuff, I guess.
Right.
So
You don't
which
know
is
many of their
silicates.
words.
no, I don't. This is pretty early on. I had just met them recently.
Fair enough. I have only met the Viking, so... Oh,
Yeah, I started
Viking!
off
I get it!
Yeah. They're a warrior race,
Right. God, okay. I'm smart. I'm so smart.
The Gek are like geckos. Kind of like lizard people, right?
I didn't get that either. Okay, how are the Korvax,
Korvax.
like...
I don't know if that's a reference to something.
Okay.
So,
That's an interesting
buy
boat.
zinc. There's the pro tip. Buy zinc.
Buy zinc. What is
That's an alright spaceship. I'm kind of out shopping for a new
Spaceship,
really.
right.
I'm looking for something around the $3 million range, something with 22 or more slots, and really I'm looking for something that has an advanced warp drive in it, because I don't know how to build one or how to find out how to build one yet.
Right. I mean, and we could look it
if
up
I
on
could
the
just-
internet, but
It's
it's not the point.
The only thing I looked up on the internet was those Atlas stones, which they're worth like 100K.
Oh, hi.
And I was like, I feel like I can't sell these. It's called an Atlas stone, and I got it from doing Atlas related stuff. It's like, but it's also taking up inventory space.
Yeah.
So I just kind of was like poking around the internet just a little bit, just tell me a little bit, just a little bit. And I got to the the non-spoiler version of, you will need those if you want to do a thing.
Awesome.
So holding on to them, he said like 10 being the magic number. So I guess eventually trying to figure out how to work it around your inventory space is going to be like the deal about it.
Okay. Hey, you can buy...
But since I am doing like the Atlas path or whatever, I was like, all right, I won't sell those. I'll just hold on to them.
Oh, that guy has an Atlas stone for sale.
Yeah, they sell for like 900K. It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna buy that.
Jeez. I mean, money isn't super big of a thing. Because I guess if you really wanted to, you could just drop down to a planet, collect a whole crap ton of platinum or titanium or whatever, and then
Sure, I
jump
mean, it
back
also
up.
depends on the planet and what your scheme for, money making is. If you run into, like, things you can do is if you run into a bunch of gold deposits, gold is always very valuable to sell. So you just mine gold. and then fill up your cargo hold with gold, and then hope you don't get jumped before going to a trader and offloading everything.
So, have the pirates attacked you on planet, or was it just between planets?
No, it was in space.
Okay.
It was like space battle kind of stuff.
Because there are a bunch of places on almost every planet I've been to just sell stuff.
Yeah, those are outposts. And those are really good to find because outposts also I found generally have multi-tool upgrades too.
They do, absolutely.
Those weapon racks, so you can get some awesome looking tools.
Or a guy just looks at your multi-tool and goes,
he's like,
"That's not that good. Let me.
This is garbage. Here, take this one.
Take this one for free." I was like, "Oh,
okay, cool,
sweet.
Cool.
It has like 9 more slots. Great, thank you." Awesome alien with eyes on the side of your face, which must be like really bad for one-on-one combat.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. There's a few of them that are like weirdly human-faced. It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, and then like their bottom lip bifurcates, and you're like, okay, all right, that's
Yeah, like okay, yeah.
different. Got it. It's just buying all the zinc.
So as I mentioned, my naming scheme
Yes.
for my planetary systems is something that ends in EX. And then for planets themselves, it just kind of whatever comes to mind. Usually it's a consonant vowel, and then some sort of suffix. Or maybe just something that's obliquely related to what I'm looking at currently. Like, it's red, so Ferenity, Faradin, something. There's not enough time. You just need to just go with your first instinct and
Right.
just do it.
Just do it. So
Good old Thamium, just around everywhere in space.
yeah, just get yourself some thamium so that you can always jump.
Yep. If you get a warning of if you do not have weapons on you and you get a warning that space pirates are coming in, just jump away.
Yeah,
jump away. Because as I discovered when I died, and this was very frustrating because I feel like it shouldn't have been this way, but grumble cakes.
Grumble cakes.
Your pulse engines are disabled when there's hostile people around.
What?
Yeah, it's just like there's enemies around, pulse engines disabled, and warp like FTL disabled.
Is it?
I was like, why?
Do they
is
say
that true?
disabled because it's like they're blocking it, or does it just say disabled because gameplay?
I'll have to try and pay attention again. I hope it says something like because they're jamming it, but it seemed to me like it was just gameplay reasons.
Right.
There's a trading post down there. This planet has water on it.
Sweet. I wish you could dunk your ship in the water.
This is the first time I've been on a planet with water. I had not generated any water worlds yet.
Nice. Oh, that's
how it.
cool.
This is how I generally. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. Like floating crap. I love floating crap.
Floating crap's
I feel
great.
like
My first
feel
planet
like-
just had rocks floating in the air made of copper.
Yeah.
That was pretty
That can
great.
happen. I do like appreciate that as a design choice, but also as like a limitation because they're like, well, we don't want to have like an entirely different physics system where things have to fall down and crumble on them and try and figure out how mass works in order to
Right.
have structures that collapse on themselves, like red faction or something.
Yeah.
I imagine that's something that could happen eventually, or maybe in like future kinds of this thing. But I was like, just having things float works. It's just weird sci-fi stuff. There was 200 money in that cube.
There was. Ricochet.
Ricochet Sigma. No, I'm not gonna use that.
I do like how it says, don't shoot this in tight corridors. Unless it's like bad.
Good advice. That's good advice. Good advice.
Do you ever just jump on top of these things to see if there are hidden things above them?
Yeah, I did that. Like right now, I was like, can I go through the window? The answer is no.
No. There's
womp.
glass. Or something like glass.
So what I'm doing now is how I like to play the game, which is you can do like a star system scan from orbit, and it'll give you like 1 point of interest, right? It's not going to give you every single thing because that's information overload, right?
Yeah.
So it said there's an outpost on this planet. I've been in this planet before. Like I'm going to go to that outpost.
Ooh.
So I come in and then I do like a low level, just sort of hover over the ground and then like see on the ground what's in between me and the next thing, and then just do some pit stops. Use the scan visor, see if there's any flora and fauna, because that's just free money.
Yeah. Not much, but some.
If you want to do a full research survey of a planet, that'll actually get you a whole bunch of credits depending on the planet. So like if you have a particularly sort of animal heavy planet, you could get like 350k or 350,000, right? For completing the full survey.
Jeez. All right.
So if you want to, I'd suggest maybe doing that if you find a planet that like looks particularly awesome and you just want to spend some more time there.
Yeah.
But my general pattern is just kind of pick a point and then go straight to this like next sort of, I guess, waypoint.
Shoot it.
And then just see what happens in the interim.
You got rid of the... Oh, you sent it to your ship.
No, I sent it to the ship. Yeah, I don't know what Emerald is used for, but it's expensive.
It's used for cooking.
It's
Bam.
Bam. Yeah. Oh boy.
I just finished a 12-hour day.
Very good. Very good. I don't know what it's used for. I'm sure I'll find something later that's like, oh, you need 500 pieces of Emerald. And I'll be like, okay, cool. I remember I made a video a long time ago where there was Emerald, and I don't know how to get back to that place.
You'll just find another planet that has it because they're infinite planets.
Yeah, I really hope that there's a way, because I don't know, because I've only, 12, 14 hours, something like that. I don't know if there is a way to do, like, mineral composition scans and stuff, so like to search for particular elements, particular items, that kind of thing.
Right.
It would be kind of cool if there was, and if there's not, it'd be cool if they could add that eventually.
I mean, I'm sure it either is or will be in soon.
Because I don't know, maybe that is in there, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just you just need to learn where the elements are generally going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like asteroids can have like iron in them, but they can also have like
Thamium and...
Yeah, well, Thamium's the one that's super common, but they can have like nickel. You can have like nickel asteroids and stuff like that.
Oh,
They're,
okay.
like much larger.
Cool.
Beam focused Tau. Faster mining beam processes resource rich minerals. That sounds awesome. Let's make that.
Yes, that's what I have on my multi-tool. Oh, you're gonna have to get rid of stuff.
I'm gonna have to get rid of stuff. That's true. I'm gonna get rid of the reload accelerants because I'm not interested in reloading faster. I just want the mining beam to be better. Also, another pro tip, or similar, I guess, categories. If they're next to each other, they get a border, and supposedly that will power it up. So I have so like these two red ones are for the bolt caster, the green ones are for the mining laser. I think yellow is for the scan visor. That kind of thing. So in order to sort of make this the most efficient for my current little multi-tool here, I'm actually going to get rid of the rapid fire in the bottom right, and then install the mining laser here. This is why I'm holding on to some chrysonite. So definitely get that +2 on there, and then supposedly it'll, I don't know how it benefits me, but it does apparently.
Sweet. So you got rid of your scanner.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna replace these.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna put the scanner in, and then also
The range
because I
boost.
have, the range boost, which I had not installed on this multi-tool. And then I was like, well, I have 2 spaces. I can put the scanner in and get range boost in there as well. That seems like a smart move. So I'm not using the bolt caster like at all. I have it on there just so I can destroy things that say destroy.
Right. Can you use the ship's beams to do that?
I wish that was the case.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, no. That'd be another cool thing to add.
Strafing
being
runs?
able to strafing runs, yeah. Because I really thought that I could use the mining laser for like the floating rocks and stuff, but apparently that's not the case. At least not right now.
What? Oh,
For, like, on the planet.
Ship. The ship's mining laser.
Yeah, I use the ship's mining laser for like the larger deposits that are like floating or on the surface, that kind of thing. That was not the case last time I checked. Get rid of that platinum, the chrysonite, iridium. I actually don't. I'm just gonna, I just dropped that. Seven things of iridium is not worth the inventory slot.
I know.
Well, get that zinc.
The zinc's
that zinc.
important.
This is a slightly irradiated planet. It's got 5.9 rads down there.
Yeah.
It's not the horrible irradiated wasteland that I was just like munching on zinc like goldfish candy. There's one planet. It's basically all you had to do was like find one thing. It was like an Atlas mission where it was like, hey, just go to this ruin and find this thing. And I landed pretty close, and I had to go through like a crap ton of zinc because it was just like radiation levels extreme. Like, okay, what does that mean? And it's just like boo, boo, boo. Like, oh crap, 75%. 50%.
Oh.
25%.
Ooh, that's...
I was like, this gives me a new micro goal to make a radiation shield.
Yeah.
Also learned that when you're inside, you are protected from the elements. When you're inside cave systems, you're also protected from the elements. When you're inside your ship, you're protected from the elements. So you can kind of jump in to recharge your radiation shield. It's very useful. I was not aware of that initially and was munching through probably more zinc than I should have.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's why I buy zinc all the time. So my shields are fine.
Yep.
I should just stop opening these stupid things.
Yeah.
I don't need shielding shards or canisters. They just take up space.
Yeah, if they stacked, it would be great, but they don't.
Yeah. I'm sure that seems like something that would probably be added.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the game is still, very new. Still just on version like 1.03 or something. Because they did in fact add they keep adding little things to like try and fix like frame rate problems and stuff. But, like especially on PC, frame rate problems they said had to do with like the way they're doing shader caching. I don't know what that is, but there's definitely a folder in like the Steam files that's like shader caching, and it's like 2 gigs or so.
Oh geez, that's a lot of the game.
So apparently it does that as you play, so that performance increases as you go.
Oh, okay.
So like as I'm going to just guess here because I don't know actually how that technology is working. But since everything is procedurally generated for the most part, like the actual like shaders and materials for like planets and textures and things like that, I imagine are that once they're there on a particular planet, then it's less taxing. Maybe it can just be loaded into RAM or something. These sound like these are things that sound like
Things?
video game stuff.
Yeah,
right.
they sound like
that
things.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Either way, that's what they said. So
Can you set waypoints in this game? Like from this perspective?
no.
Okay.
Or at least I haven't found a way to do so. I don't think you can. If you scan a thing, it'll highlight it. So if you hold your visor on it, so like this thing over here is flashing. I think it was flashing because I had highlighted it.
If it's interactable, it flashes before you do the scan. Even I think.
Yeah. So these little these particular pods, the ones that look like that and show up as little like sort of like gear icons,
Right.
Are the ones that are going to be ship related
Yes.
upgrades.
And if it's a red or if it's a yellow laser gun, that makes it attack. If it's a blue laser gun, that makes it mining, right? Or is it reversed?
Or maybe it was reversed.
Okay. The caves
yeah,
in this
one
game
of
are
them-
so pretty.
Yeah, like this I thought was just awesome. Like look at this. Look at that. Look at it.
I'm looking. Just calm down. Look at it. Look at it. I spent like 30 minutes just wandering around in a cave. Just be like, oh, I really wish I could like burrow a hole further in and just live here.
Bam. I'm gonna turn that into sweet, sweet money. Inventory's full. I need to do some management. I need to get some. I need to free up some.
I noticed you haven't upgraded your
Countertop
exosuit that
here.
many times.
The exosuit has been upgraded 4, 5, or 6 times.
Okay. But not as many as I did because that's all I looked for a little while.
We'll actually be able to find an exosuit upgrade at the sort of towards the end of the video. Because as soon as I realized what to look for, I was like, oh, obviously I want those.
Yes.
Like a lot.
Yes. So you want this watching this video is having I guess an unintended or an intended side effect. I really just want to play this game now.
Yeah.
I have to
wanna go
wake
back
up
in
at
there.
6 o'clock tomorrow, and I really just want to play this game. For those at home, it's 11 o'clock my time. Oh.
Some plutonium on there. Yeah. It makes remember not to eat anything.
Yeah, yes. I put my cup away. Also, for viewers at home, if you didn't know, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything 8 hours prior to an ultrasound.
True facts. You don't have to like drink barium or anything though. This is not like a, or do you?
I don't know. I've never had an ultrasound before.
I think you have to do that for maybe like a CAT scan or something like that.
I don't know.
In EKG.
That ship seems to have locked in.
Those are things, right? Those are medical things.
An EKG is where they just put the things on you, and then after a minute, it gives you a readout telling you if your heart is borked or not.
Well, one of those procedures requires drinking barium, and it's the worst. That stuff is gross and nasty. It's just used.
You had to drink barium?
Yeah, I forget what it was for.
Was that for when we sold ourselves to science?
Yes.
Okay.
It was one of those.
All right.
I think it was one of those, and that was particularly awful just because barium is awful, and you have to drink so much of it.
So that was probably one of the times where I wasn't able to participate because I don't remember drinking barium. I just remember having a camera stuck down my throat while I was still conscious.
Yeah. Conscious sedation. It's a hell of a thing.
God, that sucked. No, this is apparently like they just, gel me up like I'm a pregnant lady and then see if there's anything wrong with my appendix.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually the first trading post I've been to.
Really?
It has like these nice little sort of airport style
yes.
benches to sit on, and the floating irradiated platform.
Right, but if you're right here, there's no radiation.
There's a radiation storm incoming.
Okay. Never mind.
Also, this robot fellow over here is his little randomly generated little storyline is that he was like in dire straits and wanted some silicates. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I can get some stuff for you.
One of the ones I came across was a Viking who's like, hey, I have this box of multi-tools that wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm just going to leave open if you want to leave me some credits. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
nope.
So my response,
I'm going to report you to your superiors.
My response was, because I was high standing with the Viking, was like, I'm just going to report you if you don't buy my silence. He's like, okay, have stuff.
Here, have stuff. Mm-hmm. We're buddies now.
That is an ugly ship.
Yeah, it's kind of a piece of crap. I do like the fact that it's green.
Really?
I do like green ships. Or just like green in general. But if it's gonna... There's a balance.
It has to look nice.
Fashion's important, okay?
Yeah, like color is important, but it also has to look not like... What was that RC? Was it RC Racing for the Nintendo? It looks like a green RC Racing car.
Okay. Actually, the reason I'm in my current ship is because it was green, it was slightly better, and it was a wreck. It was wrecked on a planet, and I was like, yeah, sure, this will be my new goal. My new goal is to fix this thing up. It's a fixer-upper, but
That plane has not... Is that when you messaged me that you had traded your working hyperdrive for a broken one?
Yes, I did do that. Because I had fully fueled up the hyperdrive on my previous ship, erroneously thinking that I would be able to transfer the fuel to the new one. This is not the case.
Yeah.
It was a broken and empty hyperdrive. I was like, all right, well, fortunately I have my antimatter farm down, so it didn't take me very long to get it fueled up again, but still.
You want to share with everybody at home, me included, how you did the antimatter farm?
Sure. I think it really revolves around, you can buy a lot of the stuff from traders, but if you the easiest way is just if you find the recipe for the suspension fluid. So you can just make a suspension fluid for like 50 carbon, 100 carbon, something like that. And that's just, you blow up a plant or two, like a plant, like the big plant. It'll give you like enough.
Right.
You make a suspension fluid. Then all you need for that is, after that, is an electron vapor, which you can actually find in these little Atlas crates, but I don't have room for that, so it keeps giving me those things. This, at least, I can just sell right here, because I'm at the... Anyways.
You're at the place.
So you need electron vapor, which you then need... Actually, I have this written down, because this is the one thing that I found very useful.
You're looking at it right now on the video.
That's true. I mean, I remember I'm going to try and get the exact... numbers. I have my old notepad here.
Right.
The one notepad I have is the 4-step process. Step 1, suspension fluid. Get 50 carbon. Craft that.
Okay.
Step 2, electron vapor. All you need is 100 plutonium. Just go find a red thing and blow it up. Like that's super easy to do. And then step 3, you need the antimatter, which is 50 iridium and 20 zinc. This is why I always get zinc, because if you don't have zinc any on you, it's a lot. The zinc plants, they're not rare, but it's not nearly as common as just like all of the, at least it's in the planets I've been to, is just like mining crystals.
Also,
right?
you have to like walk right up next to them. You can't just.
So you can't zap it from afar. That's true. For maximum laziness, I'd recommend just buying a bunch of zinc. Also because of the benefits of improving your shields.
Exactly.
Keeping them charged up. So you just get 50 iridium, 20 zinc, you got antimatter, and then the only thing you need in order to turn the antimatter into a warp cell is thamium, and you just go into orbit and you just blast like 1 or 2 of those things that's in orbit. And the thamium has been in every single, the thamium asteroids or meteorites or whatever have been in every orbit I've been into. So,
Yeah.
and then you've got a warp cell, and that's 20% of your hyperdrive right there. So that whole process, you can get down to just like a minute or 2.
What can you sell a warp cell for?
You cannot sell a warp cell. If you're trying to make money that way, you have to stop at antimatter and then sell that.
Okay.
But that's not nearly as efficient because it's really not worth as much as like it should be. It's like maybe 20K or something.
Oh.
And you're better to just
Sell stuff.
sell stuff.
This
Yeah.
is an
Like, you
exosuit
could-
place.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yep.
This a drop. I think it's called a drop
pod.
pod.
It's a drop pod. Drop pods are where you
this
upgrade
shape
your
you want to
exosuit.
look at. Yeah, you want to look for these when you're scanning because you get in here and then
Exosuit
upgrade.
I can tell you were excited. Yep. And it goes up by 10,000 every time, I think?
Yeah, something like that. But whatever. Whatever it is, it's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I've got like 19 slots on my exosuit now, and it's still always full.
C447. I think I got 17 where I'm at, so I have one more than what's in this video right now.
Ah, okay. You've already
But
discovered
yes,
that.
as soon as I realized that, I was like, yes, I do need to look for these. This reminds me, performance-wise, I'm able to have mostly maxed out settings, but it's 720, and I can get pretty much 45 to 60 for most of the time. Unfortunately, it's a little bit. It's 30 to 60 when I'm using fraps.
Right.
It does require a lot of processing power.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And also, I'm hopeful that patches for frame rate stuff and stuff will happen in the future.
Right.
Apparently, it doesn't work. Some people just crash on launch. Some people are having problem with like ATI cards and stuff.
Okay.
So that kind of sucks. You can get grenade upgrades by destroying sentinels.
Oh, yeah. You also just get a bunch of titanium.
Yeah.
And you get
Go
that's
do a
where you
little
get the
save
good
here.
music.
Let's,
it's all
let's-
pretty good music, actually.
Let's name a thing. I haven't named a thing.
How about something nicer than Piggart Valley?
Piggart. I don't care about the valley name. Like we're gonna keep it a little bit bigger scale than that.
You're gonna rename the planet?
Yeah, rename the planet, rename the system. Those are the things I'm interested in. Okay, the ones on the left here.
Yeah.
Got to follow my, I have the thing.
All
so
right.
it's water planet. So
Aqua
feel like,
X? Oh, Hydra X.
something.
Hydrex.
Hydrex. Did I end up with just Hydrex? So Hydro. That's so
Hydronex.
Hydronex. There we go. That's
right.
good enough. And then Fraps crashed. We're back.
Fantastic.
It was I don't know. It was recording for like 44 minutes, and it was like a 72 gig file. I guess it just kind of was like.
You don't have it splitting the video?
If I don't have to, I don't want to, because
Okay.
I'd rather just have the videos just instead of just a mess of 4 gig files. Whatever. It was fine. It crashed, but it had saved the file, so that was convenient.
So have you tried just diving straight into the water with your ship? Because I did.
I have not done that. I've not actually gone into the water yet.
It's fun, frightening, but deep water is.
Deep water is frightening.
Yeah.
Done with that planet. I'm done with this galaxy, actually.
Really?
I'm gonna go head to the
Or this
Yeah.
this solar system.
That's right. The solar system, kind of done. Because I have look at that. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's
So cool.
like look at that planet. It's a water planet.
So why are you
It's
done with this?
thamium. Because I am one jump away from another Atlas node, and for the sake of the video, I was like, I want to end it like going to an Atlas thing, so you can kind of get an idea of this other aspect of the game. So the sort of like carrot and stick, right?
Right.
Or it's like you go to these weird places, these Atlas facilities, and then they give you sort of a general direction, like, oh, here's the next one, and it's like 7 or 8 systems away, and then find your way there. Iron is not what I want. I just throw that away. It's garbage.
Because you can get all the iron you
Jettison.
want.
I actually don't even want that nickel. It's just wasting space. 8 nickel. Like, nickel is pretty valuable, generally speaking. But It's super beneficial if you have like a bunch of plutonium and you're next to a galactic node that has like a special on plutonium, and it's like 200% plutonium value or whatever. You're like, well, I'm going to. That happened once. It was a planetary one, and there was just a bunch of plutonium around it. So I was like, shh, don't tell anyone. So I sold all of plutonium. I just like stuffed my pockets full of plutonium, and then sold it. And then was like wandering around, around the area, looking through the cave systems. And my life support system was like under 25% and was failing. And I was like, well, this is fine. I'll just, use some plutonium to, oh no. Proceeded to do a very fast run back to the ship.
Well, can't you use carbon?
I did a scan
as well?
I didn't have any carbon. I had emptied my inventory. I was like, I have nothing. I was like, do a scan, and I was like, all right, there's a red thing. I'm just run that way.
Fantastic.
I have there is the Atlas.
Wow.
Interface. This is the thing that's in not the title screen, but like the promotional title screen. So I guess actually maybe is there like a boxed version of the game?
I don't buy actual media, so I could not tell you.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely in like the preview image on Steam and like box art images, even if maybe it doesn't real life.
Hey,
but
more
yeah,
nickel.
there's the trapezoidal kind of weird thing, and that's sort of what the Atlas things are.
More diamond than trapezoid, I guess.
And that's right. Like diamond. It's a D8. It's a space D8.
It's a space D8. It's 2 pyramids on top of each other. Yeah.
Indeed.
Or I guess space to base.
It doesn't let you pulse engine into things.
I wish it did, but
also, yeah, you don't have to plot your FTL jumps to not go through stars or anything.
which is nice.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I don't need my sci-fi explorer game to be like super hard sci-fi. That's fine, thank you.
That's true. Yeah.
This looks intimidating.
Yep. This is the giant black hole that's over there was not the same. The last Atlas facility I went to, it did not have that particular look. It was a different sort of weird cyclopean thing. Also, when you scan here, you get random words translated for you. I'm not sure why. Like, I'm not sure what that's picking up on. It just gives you like a few new words in a language. I thought maybe it was those things on the ground, but like not all of them will give you stuff. So I was like, moving on.
Well, I mean, maybe it just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know. So you got some good clean line sci-fi stuff going on here.
Some very Tron-y stuff.
And they just give you some warp cells. I guess that's nice.
All right.
Recharge your stuff. Yeah. If you made it there, it kind of gives you a
way to get out.
Yeah. Those are going right into the ship. Interact with the Nexus, get a little piece of, I guess, what could be described as plot.
Okay.
It looks like this might be gated by milestones. Milestones being the aggregate of the the journey milestones that you get, because whenever you do stuff, you get milestones, and you do stuff more, and you get more milestones. So it kind of gives you like, oh, I'm progressing. I've walked this far. I've talked to this many people. That kind of stuff.
The milestone get screen is actually one of the more annoying things for me, just because of how long it is. But, that's just me, I guess.
That's true. It goes into super widescreen mode when it happens.
Yeah. I mean, you can still
y-
move around and collect stuff. It's just
That's true. When it gives you get an Atlas stone from doing the Atlas interface. Also, apparently there's a toxin suppressor in the middle here. All right, sure.
Sweet.
Why not? Sure, cool. Why not? Those Atlas stones will just forever be in my inventory, I guess, now.
Not until you get 10 of them and do the thing.
That is No Man's Sky. I recommend it. This game's pretty awesome.
This game is
And
really good.
This game is good, and it's inspiring, and it's also to be like what will be, right? Mm-hmm. So like this is, I'm gonna get a little theological and philosophical for a second.
All right, let's hear it.
So, I believe
Mm-hmm.
that God created the world. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go through the slight variation or the minutia of it that I want to focus on. So I believe that God created the world, right? So you have a creator that's like created everything. You have this huge, immense creation, awe-inspiring, this kind of thing. Even if you don't believe in God, I feel like you can also get this sort of wonder from creation.
Right.
But that's the perspective I'm coming at it from. And I associate very closely, or I guess identify very closely with like the idea that part of God's character is creating things, right?
Yes.
So creativity in itself is much like love, like a very godly endeavor. So like humans were created to be stewards and gardeners of like the world. So it's like in order to create things, to rearrange things that have been created into new and beautiful forms.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean gardening. Using a gardening metaphor.
Okay.
With thanks to what's his name? That Portland pastor who does the Bible Project. Tim Mackey. Tim Mackey.
Okay, you would know.
Okay. Using a gardening metaphor. So, like, to be good gardeners and good stewards is to rearrange and recombine things to create new and beautiful things that would not happen naturally. So, like a garden where you have a forest or you have, like, a field, and you can use, like, farming techniques and irrigation, and you can, like, plant things next to each other, and you can get, like, different combinations of flowers, and you can create, beautiful, like, gardens and things like that. Okay, so this is the gardening metaphor.
Right.
It's taking things that already exist and recreating beautiful things with it. And I feel like this is conceptually extends to all creative endeavors, which includes, at least for me, I get closest to this when I'm like making music and video games, because I want to tell stories. I want to create worlds and things for other people to like inhabit and like enjoy. Right. Mm-hmm. So this game is very inspiring on that front, because it's sort of the biggest step that I've seen, and it's also towards creating these artificial worlds, of which I've spent a whole lot of my life both looking at and talking about on the internet, because I love video games.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
Nope.
Nope.
We've only been doing this for
video games.
We've only been doing this for like 5 years or so. So nope.
And I also think there's a spiritual quality to creative endeavors. Mm-hmm. Not just like painting and like writing, but like it could even be math itself, science.
Right.
Recombining elements into like manufacturing things.
Right. Creativity isn't just the arts.
Yeah, creativity is not just the arts. It's anything that is rearranging what we've been given into new and more beautiful forms.
Right. I mean, and since art is super subjective,
I guess I would say like Carl Sagan quote, "Endless forms, most beautiful."
I don't know.
I think it's Sagan. The only reason I know that is because it is on a Nightwish album.
Of course it is. Okay.
So they did a CD about deep space and the wonders of the universe, and
it's
Endless Forms Most Beautiful is the name of it. So anyways, that's where I know that from.
So looking at creativity or just creation,
so
like
being able to create things, like entirely new things, like it gets more complicated and more interesting as we go along. And this is like the best thing I've seen yet of this, because there's other procedurally generated, procedural content generation kind of things that are very, very interesting, especially like
I mean, Starbound did it,
like,
I think.
In the Starbound, I was thinking more of like in the roguelike space. So you have things like Unreal World, which is a procedurally generated Iron Age Finland, I think.
Okay.
And if you don't know anything about roguelikes, generally speaking, graphics in roguelikes are roguelikes that are like Rogue.
Yeah.
Are going to be like ASCII graphics.
They're pretty bad.
Or just tile-based graphics, because it's pretty much a programmer's kind of place to shine, right? Because it's about algorithms and stuff.
Yeah, it's not
So
about
Unreal
how pretty
World
it is.
But then there's also like Ultima Ratio Regum, which is this dude whose name I forget, even though I listened to a bunch of podcasts he's on. I always forget his name, sorry.
Okay.
It's his like 10-year/15-year plan. He loves history and religion, and he was making a procedurally it's a in a roguelike context, so like not graphical so much. So we're talking like 2D, almost like ASCII. It could be ASCII-based, tile-based kind of thing.
Right.
But the procedurally generated content behind it is on the scale of creating a world with religions and political systems.
Oh.
And like histories.
Okay.
So it's procedurally generated culture is what he's interested in. And he's spent like most of his adult life working on it, and it's like part of his, like research thesis and all of this.
That's
so
awesome.
The idea that he wanted to create a game where something like, I guess like imagine like a conspiracy thriller, like a Da Vinci Code or something, where it's like, looking through clues in history to find like dark secrets or anything like that, or like imagine trying to find a person in the world,
right?
And having to like, actually go and investigate other cultures and places that are generated using very complex rules that have been developed over a lifetime of studying like the way that myths and legends and religions and like different sects of religions come about, and like how cultural artifacts are, like procedurally generated heraldry, based on like histories that have been generated from algorithms based on actual history and like invented histories and that kind of thing.
Jeez.
So like that kind of stuff is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is the kind of thing, but No Man's Sky is the kind of thing that gets very close to that on the galactic scale, right? So making planets and stuff. And it's one step closer to the, the kind of sort of Matrix experience, right? Where you have systems that are indistinguishable from reality. Not necessarily interested in indistinguishable from reality so much as just robust reality,
right?
Sort of like a hyper reality, where you can have unique experiences, and as complex systems get layered on top of each other, you can have more complex interactions and more emergent systems and more emergent, stories can be told. And this is the kind of thing that, procedurally generated content, I feel like, is best at. So that is the reason why I think that No Man's Sky is very good.
I would have to agree with you. It's for me. It was a lot. It was purely just hearing this small group of guys talking about. So we're going to make a universe, and here's how we're going to do it. And I just looked at that and I was like, all right, fantastic. This is what I like. Like, my favorite part about any game that I play is the not knowing all of it yet part. My favorite part about Dark Souls 1 wasn't like the 40, 50 runs after I went through it the first time. My favorite part about Dark Souls 1, aside from, just you and I playing it an absolute crap ton together, was the going through it the first time, the not knowing where everything was, the getting my butt handed to me by the new bosses, like, and then No Man's Sky is literally just like, all right, do you want infinite of new? Yes, I do. And it's procedural, so it's not all 100%.
So it's not going to be infinite of new, but it's going to be infinite new combinations.
Right.
So you'll see things that are similar, and this is the kind of thing that can just expand.
Right. This is a good jumping off point.
Yeah, it's like what is there right now is super awesome, and you're gonna spend dozens of hours until you've I feel like you probably come to the point where you start recognizing enough of this, like the individual sort of events, and this is what happens in roguelite games, I guess. You know, you have like your FTLs and stuff where you have events that can randomly spawn. Eventually, you'll see similar kind of events. You'll see similar, you know, word constructions where you're like, oh, okay, this is a plant thing, so I'll get a radiation shield, and the text for it will have vague references to like some sort of like Cthulhu-like monster or something, and you're like, oh, that's just the thing that is decided upon for this particular type of thing. And eventually you'll see all of those individual units, but it still has the capability to surprise you a lot, and that kind of stuff can just expand. So it's very much exciting to look forward to the possibilities. Like, don't project onto the game,
right?
Because I feel like that won't work. You won't enjoy it as much. I'd say take the game for what it is and like be excited about the future and where things can go. Because I mean, there's other games, right?
Yeah, of course.
So no, it's a big tapestry.
So for me, like saying infinite of new, like I don't mind that it's these components arranged in different ways. Like for me, it's like, is this set piece really cool? And can mechanically I do most of what I feel like doing? Let's see what's a good example. Dark Souls. Well, let's just talk about Dark Souls because why not? That's the only other thing I've been playing other than Persona 4. I mean, I could talk about Persona 4, but in Dark Souls, like the set pieces in some in 1, a bunch in 2, and a lot in 3 are just fantastic. They're either super properly creepy or just pretty, and full of creepy things. And mechanically, I can do a lot of the things I want to do in them. But in Dark Souls, my expectation is literally like is that I can kill the things in it and find the loot. Like I'm a stab that guy, so I can. In No Man's Sky, it's like I'm just gonna go over there and ...
Yeah, and you'll just go up to the top of a hill and just like look over the vista and be like, sweet,
this is so pretty. Or just like go out into space and see ships jump in and be like, that's cool. And
or you can just be like, I don't like this planet anymore. Just point up into the sky and go.
And it's. I mean, on the one hand, it's like there's so many things you can do that it is a little paralyzing if you're like me and you like to 100% everything all the time forever.
That's true. You need to not do that for this game.
You can't.
You get it. It gives you a way to 100% a planet.
Right.
So like you could do that. And it gives you benefits in game for doing that.
Right. But it's like, it doesn't punish you for not. And it's, if you really break it down to the basic mechanics, you're not doing a lot. But if you're looking at this game from a purely mechanical standpoint, I feel like you're missing the point. That's like
that's I can say that's true of video games.
Right.
Really, there's always going to be like the game. There's always going to be a gameplay loop, and there's going to be repetition to it. And if you look at it too cynically, you can break down any kind of genre into its component pieces and just be like, well, all you do is X over and over again.
Right.
And it's true that what you're doing, it's just, I feel like for this game in particular, you should just know that going in, what you're doing is finding resources and crafting. So like if for some reason that in and of itself is not something that's interesting to you, then like don't play the game.
Right.
So, because that's what this game is.
I think it reminds me a lot of I think it was Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb at one point, because everybody was talking about PT and how truly terrifying it was.
Accurate.
And Jeff Gerstmann was like, nah, it didn't do anything for me. And it's like, well, how did you play it? Oh, I played it in my living room with all the lights on. But it's just, you just walk down a hallway a bunch.
This is true. All you do is walk down a hallway a bunch. That's true.
And if you boil it down to that, and that's all you think about, and you don't allow yourself to get engrossed in the world, it's maybe a little creepy, but it's not that frightening. It scared the patooey out of me because it was dark. It was surround sound. And it was just on a big... It was so... and
it was dog kickingly
frightening.
Scary.
It's dog kickingly frightening. But so with this game, if you're coming into it expecting it to be, this is the last game I'll ever buy and it'll do literally everything I want it to, no, it won't. But if you want to just see a very crazy number of super pretty vistas and just wander around, explore, craft, and gather resources like Jeff said. Like, this is a great game for that.
And it'll get better.
Yeah, as time goes
whatever
on.
it is now, it will get better.
Yeah.
They'll add things. They won't necessarily add everything that you want personally in this game. But it will improve over time. And it's very exciting to just kind of see it happen. So
yeah, and this is not going to be like Minecraft. It's not going to be, you know, a 1,000 people crying for a thing and then it's begrudgingly added. The people who made this game and who are running it, this is like their big passion. Was just like, we're going to make a galaxy and now we're going to populate it with things. Yay!
Yay!
So
if we do more videos for this, because this is a recommendation video, which is kind of like a new thing we're doing, it will probably be, you know, like part 2 for recommendation, part 3. This particular game, you could make like infinite videos of it,
right?
But fortunately, there's no particular beginning, particular end, right? So it could just be like
maybe there is for the Atlas stuff, or
yeah, that's true. There is a general goal of getting to the center of the galaxy. So you can try and do that. And like I said, it's not going to be infinite in that sense, but you could always just check in, make a video, that kind of thing. So I don't know. We might do that for this or some other games too, depending on how this thing goes. But so we don't have to do like a full LP, which is what we usually do.
Right.
Oh, you might say, well, I thought an LP was just people playing games, and then that makes me turn into a platform on the internet for sharing game experiences because I start to Twitch. So I'll put on my old man hat and say, get off my lawn, and say that an LP is a complete playthrough of a game. And then I will be like, oh, but then there's the older people on the lawn that are like, nah, technically it meets screenshots only. And what you're talking about is a video LP. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll just agree to disagree and move on. Point taken.
Point taken, but still, hey, slow beef. Yeah, come on.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
But something that you and I have talked about a lot, I don't know if we've talked about it on videos or not, is we want to do a bunch of things. We want to cover a lot of games, but the way...
That's okay, and we will. This is a very long video.
Right.
So,
but I got this last thing to say.
Okay,
this is the last thing. So we want to do a bunch of things. We want to do a wide variety of things. But when we commit to a Let's Play, like as he said, it's a full playthrough of a game. It took us a long time to do Syndicate, and Syndicate is not a long game.
It's not a long game.
But
Darksiders 2 is over 2 years,
and that's not a long game either. It's just we dedicate a lot of time to the things we do. So the recommendation series is going to be a way to get smaller chunks of stuff. I say as this video hits like 113, an hour and 13 minutes.
Sure.
So it's going to give us a way to do that. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, please let us know. But also at the same time, feel free to donate to our Patreon, and it gives us time to do more stuff like this. If we get more money in the Patreon, it also gives us the ability to like buy more games as they come out and do recommendations for them if we like them or not.
This is true. No Man's Sky was basically purchased because of Patreon stuff,
and it was purchased. I purchased it earlier than I normally would because I'm a bargain hunter. Because I knew we were going to do stuff for the channel, and it gave me a great excuse. But like, if you like this kind of stuff, head it on. Like, go to our Patreon. Feel free to give us something, anything.
Yeah, anything. Like $1 or $5, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Just so that we can eventually do it full time. But also because of the way that these new video series are going to work, like if you really, really want to see more No Man's Sky, we can actually just do that. Like, generally speaking, recommendation videos will probably just be like one episode or maybe a few more if I'm really, really into the game.
Right.
But like if people like really, really want to see more of a game, we can just make more videos on it. So you know, I guess that's basically saying like, comment. That's basically what I'm saying.
You're saying
like if you like the video and you want to see more things like it, you can comment on it. That is to say, communicate through text so that we understand what it is you want. And then subscribe to the Patreon so that we get more money.
Jeff, it's okay. It's okay.
I know.
It's
It
okay.
hurts me a little bit to
I
say
know.
that,
I know
but
it does. But you're not just saying it. You're not saying it vapidly. You're not saying
Sure.
it because of some like social media seminar you went to. You're saying it out of a genuine desire to know what the people who watch these videos are thinking. Because I'm talking into a microphone in an empty apartment, so there's no immediate
am as well.
feedback. So
I am as well. So in conclusion,
Dark Souls, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Yeah. Recommendation.